Shrikala Ram and I are going to talk about everything that you may want to know about our University of Vedic Astrology. So here we go. I know Shrikala Ram and I are going to talk about So here we are, we're live. And I want everyone to be able to feel free to ask anything that's ever crossed your mind about what we do with the university. And one thing I do want to say is that the University of Vedic Astrology is a serious study of astrology, Vedic astrology. It is so in depth, and those of you who are serious about astrology, you're going to want to know all about the university. So hold on one second. Let me see if everything I'm doing is correct. Shri, are you here yet?
I can hear you, Joni, yes.
Okay, but I don't see you yet. Let's see.
No, that's because you were the active speaker. That's okay.
Okay, so should we put ourselves together so we can, let me do that, so we can both be, well, I see everybody coming on and saying hello. Welcome everyone. I'm so excited that you're here and you want to ask questions, because that's really and truly what we're here to do. We're here for you to be able to ask questions. So Shrikala Ram she is my first graduate from the university, and she can answer her experience to all of you, what it's like and you know what to expect throughout the whole process, how long the process takes, everything that's entailed in it. So Shri, if you want to go ahead and take the floor and explain to people what you're here to present, because she's going to show us the entire website for the University of Vedic Astrology. And with that, she can show you all the details of what we're going to be going over and what the whole course entails. So Shri, go ahead and take the floor and tell people a little bit about yourself and the university.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for coming and joining us this afternoon on the YouTube Live. It's afternoon here in United States. Of course, we have people from all around the world joining us, which is amazing. So once again, thank you for coming. And we do this typically whenever we feel like you guys have a lot of questions about the university, because there's nothing better than talking to you on a live channel like this and addressing all your questions. We want to make sure everybody's questions are answered. And before that, we are going to give you a quick understanding as to what this course has and what does it contain, right?
Everything that you may want to know. Go ahead, Shri, I'm sorry.
No problem, Juni. So first of all, a little bit about me. I'm Shrikala Ram. I come from the southern part of India, a state called Kerala. I was born and I grew up in Kuwait. So I've pretty much been around the world my entire life. I can say I do have astrology in my family. I have, my relatives who practice that. And of course, being from India, we always have astrology as part of our day-to-day life. But what really changed my life and what really put me on this path is, ironically, it was right around my Saturn return when I met Joni in Dallas, and I went to her for a reading. And I'm sure a lot of you kind of, you're able to relate to what I'm saying, because when you go for a reading to Joni, your mind is blown. It's like amazing, right? You're like, how did she do this? How does she know this? So then, I wanted to learn how to do that. And I consider Joni as my teacher, my guru, my tutor. Everything I know about astrology that I'm practicing in my business day to day, I learned from Joni and from this university. So thank you, Joni, first of all. I can't say this enough. I know I say it almost every time we talk. But so that's about me. And I graduated in 2014. Since then, I have set up my astrology business. I have my astrology business as well. So that's something that I want you all to know, that it is possible to do that. You can study astrology. Of course, some people start off as a hobby, but even as a business, even as something that you want to make money out of, you can do that. But above everything else, above all, the main focus of this university and the course that Joni is teaching, plus all the tutors that Joni has, we are like a community, right? And the best thing is you are able to help and heal people who come to you, the clients, the people who come to you for advice. And that is the most empowering thing about this university. You whether you use it as a business or not is up to you, but you are able to use this to help humanity, to help people, to give them hope when they have difficult times in life. So that is what I've seen, at least personally, that's what I feel grateful for. And before I go any further, let me share my screen. And Joni, did you want to add anything to that before I share and start showing everybody the university?
No, I just want to thank you for everything you just said. It's very, very kind of you, very kind words. But yeah, so yeah, she's got so much to share with the recent changes that we've made to the university website as well. So go ahead and explain what's here and what's different.
Okay, so everybody's able to see my screen now. At least I think, Joni, you can confirm if you're able to see it.
Yes, I can see it well. Yes.
Let me make sure I am on the right one. Just give me 1 second. I think I'm sharing the wrong screen. Let's share this one. Okay, so this is the one that I'm sharing. You can see my cursor is moving. This is the brand new, redesigned University of Vedic Astrology website. And we are really excited to share this with you guys because we did have a website in the past. It was still serving a purpose, but this has everything, all the information that you could ever want. For example, there are videos here about what students are saying about UVA. So, if you don't want to take my word, there are other students, like I think almost 15 or 20 students who have given their testimonials in this video. They're talking about their experience of learning from Joni Patri. And then you have another video here, which Joni and I did last year, which has a lot of information about the university. And then if you scroll further down, there's another video where Joni explains if astrologers can really predict the future, about all her predictions that have come true. So, and there's a lot of pictures in here. And I also want to let you know, if you have questions about how the university works, and how do the classes look, then we have the first intro class of Vedic astrology, and it's free to view. So I think that's amazing that we decided to put that in here, because a lot of people had questions about what does the class look like, what does a typical class look like. So we have that too. So I hope that helps you guys to understand what the university looks like. Now, scrolling back up here, I want to quickly take you through what this university contains. And, before I go through the details here, let me just tell you, as all of you know, you're all followers of Joni. So I know you're all, knowledgeable about astrology to some level. You know that Vedic past, it is impossible to put it in a small little bowl and say, here you go, this is it, right? To this day, I'm sure Joni has been doing this for 40 years. I'm sure she still feels the same way as I do. I've been doing it for way less years than she has, but I feel like every day I learn something new from my students, from my colleagues, the other tutors. I always learn something new. So what is really interesting about this university and the semesters that Joni has is the way she has structured them. It is amazing how she has kind of started introducing you into it in the first semester, then she takes you further deep into it in the second semester. And I remember, Joni, when you put this together, it was so difficult to kind of understand what is the best way to take them up the ladder, right? But I think you did a monumental job here, because the way this is structured is so, I would say, intuitive. It's so easy to understand. These are little bite-sized pieces that you can do. If you want to do, say, the first semester, you have everything in there that will kind of give you a foundation. The second semester takes you a little deeper with the transits and the dashas and such. The third semester has even more deep stuff in it, like how to read a chart, because now you're at the point where you can read a chart. You can predict things, right? Predict marriage and children, how to find money in a chart, how to predict career. All of this is in the third semester. So pretty much at the third semester, you have a good handle on how this works, right? And then
and if I could say something, the way that I structured it was, first of all, in the first semester, most teachers go over the planets. They want to start with the planets. They want to start with the signs. But I found that you have to start with the houses, which seems odd, but it's not, because the houses are the stage. They're the platform that the planets do their acting or their work in. So I found that when you start with the houses, you're starting with building the platform or the scene, because remember, the planets will bring the meanings of the houses together. So whatever house a planet rules, what house it's in, it's like the house is the platform, it's the stage. And so that's why you're going to find that, unlike most classes, I always start with the houses, because we got to build the stage first that the planets are going to perform.
absolutely, absolutely.
That's why I kind of have it in a different order. And then the second semester is all about prediction. So it covers the dashas, it covers the transits, it covers eclipses. But what I find in the second semester is that you're really applying everything you learned in the first semester, because when you're working with transits, you're looking at the transits aspects. That's what you learned in the first semester. You're applying the meanings of the houses. You're applying the meanings of the planets and signs. So in other words, when you work with prediction, you're actually taking everything over from what you learned in the basics and applying it to prediction as the planets move, as their movement happens through transits and dashas. And then the third semester is practice, practice, practice. Because people think, oh, I've got these tools and I memorized everything. It's like when you read a book on how to ride a bike, you can't ride the bike till you get on the bike and start doing it. That's what the third semester is about, practicing. And I had one student say, oh, I don't need the third semester. I said, you need the third semester, because after you learn these tools and techniques, till you start learning how to apply it, it's just not going to work for you. And then the fourth semester is where I love to go into, well, first of all, spirituality. That's something that people that are drawn to Vedic astrology are interested in. And the next thing is world prediction. So many people want to know what's happening in the world. And as an astrologer, you've got to know about, well, what that's actually called is mundane astrology, how all the planets affect us all on a global level. And then the fifth semester takes in a lot of advanced techniques, such as Jaimini astrology, which, by the way, Shri is the master of that. I encouraged and empowered her to do her own classes on Jaimini, and she has 2 semesters herself that she's developed, which we'll talk about in just a minute, because that's one of the opportunities that the graduates of the university have, and that is to have their own course platforms as well. So anyway, the 6th semester takes into account all the different advanced systems, such as Ashtaka Varga, such as how to rectify a chart, just very advanced features. Shad Bala, all of those things, but the advanced techniques. And I love your course on Jaimini. And after that, then you're going to be working with me in the 6th semester. We'll get to that, but I want you to add anything that I missed about these courses, Shri, that you want to tell everybody.
No, that was a really good explanation, Joni, of everything. Of course, you put it together, so who better than you to talk about it? But I do want to say, in the I think it was, yeah, it was right here in the second semester. This over here, the special rules in Vedic astrology,
Mhm.
you won't get that anywhere else. That is something that Joni has drawn from her experience of almost 40 years. And, I think in some conferences, Joni has talked about it in our own conference. Joni has had a class on it. But this is, it's quite a gem because she has applied a lot of rules that she has seen work over a period of time. You may not find it in any books or anywhere else, but I think that really makes this entire university, in fact, very valuable. And another thing that I also want to add is these lessons are not just textual matter or just information. Everything has examples. That's what I really like because every time you go into any of these lessons, the textbook that we use is Joni's book, Eastern Astrology for Western Minds. And you'll see so many examples in there. Right there, Joni's holding it up.
I'm always making notes from it too, still to this day. And I wrote it almost 20 years ago.
Yes, yes. So everything, every particular lesson here has great examples. In fact, even in the third semester, you'll see some of the lessons themselves are examples because there's so much to talk in there. There's so much to teach. It's not just one concept. It's like multiple concepts that come in there. And then when you get to the fifth semester, you pretty much have learned the basics, the foundations, and you're now building on it with all the other aspects, all the other branches. If you're interested in any of those, right? Like for me, the Gemini astrology branch here really spoke to me. And I remember, when Joni called me that one day and she said, why don't you research it? Why don't you, see if you can learn more about it and create your own course? And, she's absolutely right. It's her motivating me and her really pushing me to get it done that I got it done. And I was able to write a book on it, on Gemini astrology. And Joni, like she does for all the other students, she shares the platform with all her tutors who want to come on board and teach. It's not just Joni teaching. So she allowed me to have my own course on the university platform and kind of use the same infrastructure. You don't have to do your own thing where you have to kind of spend on another platform. She shares it with everybody because we are a community. It's not just one person, it's a whole group of us. It's a community. It's very, very Aquarius like, right, Joni? Very 11th house.
Yeah, yeah. Jupiter being in Aquarius right now is a great time for us to be sharing all this information about.
Absolutely, absolutely. Jupiter and Neptune. So
Mhm.
I think it's amazing. And so that's the fifth semester. And Joni, did you want to talk about the sixth or you want me to continue on?
No, the sixth semester, let me explain one other thing. For those of you that don't know, if you'll notice there are 8 classes in each semester. So after each video, so in other words, when we say classes, we're saying that there's 8 videos. Now remember, this is totally self-paced. You do not have to follow along with this group that's starting this Monday. You can start at any time, and what it involves is you watch a video. It's about an hour video. And after the video, you take a test. It's all online, but you have a live tutor. So in other words, graduates of the university, those that have graduated, become tutors if they like. And they will be there to grade your test and answer your questions. So there are 8 videos per semester and 8 tests. So once you've completed the 5th semester, you've completed 40 videos and 40 tests. Then you're ready to work with me. and we will work privately together. I will give you lessons, such as I will give you a chart to do, and I'll say, when did this person get married within a 10-year radius? And it is a real person. Then I will give you the chart of someone that had health issues. Tell me what their health issues are. And then I have another one that says, this person came into money at this particular time. Tell me when within a 10-year radius. Then I have issues around counseling. This person had a major issue. What would you do? How would you help this person? And so all of these, you're going to have 7 lessons, even one where you plan the date, the best time to do something in electional astrology. So with all of those lessons, once you complete those, your final exam is a real live reading. And Shri and I, or your tutor, will sit there and help you as you read to a real person. We do this all over Zoom. And once you've completed it to, all the satisfaction of what the university stands for and represents, once you're there, then you become a graduate. You can become a tutor. But like Shri did, you're also welcome and encouraged to have your own teaching platform on the university. We have so many people that are just graduated, and they have major plans to create different classes themselves on UVA. And of course, I empower people to get paid for this and, to have a business with this. We set you up to have your own business. Shri can help build your website, put a booking calendar on. And on top of that, I will give you readings. I am booked up with readings through March, I think, right now. And because a lot of my clients can't wait that long, I say, go to my students. Here is the website. You'll see on the website, we have graduates that are there to do readings. So you're given readings. On top of that, you're given a business, plus you're given the opportunity to teach. And I encourage everyone to write. I have a magazine, Astrologic Magazine. We encourage people to write for it. But with the university, we have the research journal that's coming out. And we have many of our students that have written some amazing articles for the research journal. And it's going to come out about, we're not positive, but about 6 of them a year, I think every other month. But this is going to be where students work together, some of them, on research to create an article to share what they have learned together. We have a research group right now in medical astrology, and some of the people in that group, of course, they're doctors and nurses, they're medical experts, but they're also working in the university, and they're putting together research for our research journal. So you see, there's so many things we have going that empower.
And just to interject, Joni, over there, it is 6 starting this February. It will be every other month an issue will come out.
Thank you. Yes. And, we've had one that's ready to go, but there's been a few things we want it to be just right before we put it out. But yes, this is another thing. Plus, we have conferences, and I know with COVID and everything, we kind of, skipped a year or so, but we have conferences. And if you're part of the university, of course, you're going to know a lot of the people that are going to be going, and because you really do come together with a lot of friendships. But the conferences, I want to empower the people with the university to be speakers as well, because Shri, you've been a speaker at the conferences, but I want to give and bring this community together in person. When we have these, of course, you get a discount if you're part of the university to come to our conferences. You don't have to be part of the university to come to our conferences, though, but it's just a wonderful way to really come together with all these people that you've been communicating with. Now, one more thing, another way that we connect with each other is we have a Telegram where everyone has the opportunity to go on to Telegram. It's our group, the University of Vedic Astrology group, and they discuss ideas and learning within the University of Vedic Astrology. So it's kind of social. Another thing that's developed out of this is because I have meetings with all the students, I love to have meetings with the students and get their feedback on what they think or how we could improve the university all the time. And the students have come up with such amazing ideas. That's how we came up with the Telegram group. That's how we came up with our book club, which that's another thing we have going. We have a book club that meets about once a month, excuse me. And in that book club, they discuss a book, and the author comes on and starts talking about the book as well. They've been going over a lot of my books up to this point, but it is a very social event as well, because we need community. We need to come together in our learning. We need to support each other, and it makes learning fun. And Vedic astrology, like Shri said, is so vast and so confusing that, when you have the support to learn, you're going to make it. You're going to make it.
I agree. And we do have some of our students who have started discussion groups, which I think is amazing that they thought of doing that, because, sometimes they feel like when they talk to the other students, they learn better. And, I'm telling you, this is a whole platform. It's a huge community.
It is, and it's growing every day. So people from all around the world, I think every continent we have students in. And that's another thing. One thing I forgot to mention that is so valuable and important, not only do you have the pre-recorded videos, but every single week on Wednesdays, I have live webinars with all the students. Now, and that's exactly what I say when I say we're having a new start date. What does that mean if it's all self-paced? Well, it means I'm going to start doing the live webinars for semester 1. So if you sign up to start semester 1, I'm going to be doing an adjunct, not just the recorded videos. I'm also going to be doing a live webinar where everyone comes together and listens in. Of course, you can ask me questions within that live webinar, but I think it's so important to keep people inspired, because if you're just watching a video, there's no real interaction. And it's also what I like to do in these live webinars is bring in whatever's happening in the world. If there's some big news about, somebody in the news, an actress, a politician, anything that's happening currently, people want to know. I want to see their chart. What's in their chart that's causing all this? Well, that's what I bring together every week in the live webinars. Now, the way that the webinars work, though, there's 4 live webinars per semester. And so I have, like, semester 1 will start this Monday, but then the live webinar will not be the next week. It'll be the following week. So it's alternating every week. But I'm doing a live webinar every week because we're going to also be starting semester 5. And so what happens is next Monday, we're going to have semester 1, but then the following Monday, I'm going to be starting semester 5 for everybody that's been coming along since, I think it was, I don't know when that class started. Was it in July or something like that, Shri?
It was in June. Mm-hmm.
Okay, in June, correct. So I'm starting semester 5. The week after that. But here's the point I'm getting to. If you sign up for the entire university all at once, you get to participate in all of the live webinars that I'm doing, regardless of what semester you're taking tests in. And I know it's a little daunting for some of the people that are beginners and they listen into semester 5, it's way over their head. But sometimes there's people that sign up for the university that know a lot of astrology and they want the advanced stuff right away, along with the beginning stuff to fill in all the gaps of whatever they might be missing from their previous studies. So in other words, signing up for the whole university, you participate with every single live webinar I have, which is every single week. I mean, it keeps you motivated, it keeps you inspired. So in other words, whatever semesters you paid for, you can watch the live webinars. Now, another advantage, if you took this course 2 years ago, let's say, 3 years ago, you signed up for the university, life got in the way, you weren't ever able to continue on. You can come back anytime, indefinitely. So in other words, what you buy, if you buy semester 1, semester 2, semester 3, you can come back, of course, take your tests. The pre-recorded videos you can watch anytime, but you can come back and listen to the live webinars, whether you graduated or you've taken that class. As long as you paid for that semester, you can listen to any of the live webinars. One more thing, what if you're in Europe and I'm doing it at a time that's 2 in the morning for you? Well, I switch different times because I have people in Australia and I have people in Europe. They're at completely different time zones. So I have different times for different time zones for these classes as well. But they're all recorded if it's an impossible time for you to make. And believe it or not, we have all the pre-recorded live webinars from years ago, all on our platform of where you go watch your videos. So
do you want to share, do you want me to show them, Joni, where all the
yeah,
recording?
do that? That would be so
Sure.
cool. All right, good. So what I'm talking about is, you get to see all the pre-recorded videos from way back when, if you're so interested. If you want to watch videos on astrology, you can watch them till to the end of time with this university. But yeah, so show what I'm talking about. It'll make more sense.
Are you able to see this new screen, Joni?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this is how the university platform looks. We are on Thinkific. And this was another improvement we made a couple of years ago. And this platform works much better than the old one that we had. So this is very easy to use, very intuitive. This one over here is the UVA student meetings. We have all of it recorded, even the previous ones. So you can watch all of that. And then say, for example, I go into semester 1. We have separate folders for each semester. And going into semester 1, the very first thing that you see up here is the live webinar link for the Zoom webinar that Joni does every Wednesday, like she said. So this, you don't have to go search for this in an email or, wait for it to be sent to you, nothing. The moment you have access to this semester, you've bought it, you have access to the Zoom link and it doesn't change. It's going to be the same link, okay, for semester 1. So that's great. That makes things very easy. Then we have a whole set of videos here, which Joni motivated one of our students to do. His name is Sandeep. He's amazing with Parashara's Light. And he did a whole set of videos on how to use the software. We use the Parashara's Light software. And don't forget, when you join the university, by virtue of being Joni's student, you get 20% off the software cost itself. Yes. Now, when people joined, they were like, how do I use this? I don't want to wait till the second semester to figure it out. So here you go. In the semester 1 itself, you have the first video, how to use the software, which Joni herself made. And then Sandeep came in and made a bunch of other videos from his experience, which he is amazing with the software. You have all of that here that you can watch at any time. It's always available. Then starts lesson 1, lesson 2, and so on. Each lesson has a video, a pre-recorded video, which Joni teaches that lesson in. So you would be learning from this video and from the textbook, right? And then you have your assignment. You take the assignment for that lesson. When you submit the assignment, your tutor, and remember, every time you sign up for the university, you will be assigned a tutor who will be with you through the entire journey. Okay, that person is there to answer questions and grade your tests and give you feedback, everything. And I'm one of the tutors too, and I'm grateful to have so many wonderful students. So, so you have the video itself, and then you have the assignment, and that goes on for each lesson, completely self-paced. If you want to follow along with Joni's live webinars, you can do that. You can just kind of view all of this, watch the live webinar, and take the test, however you would like to do it. But like Joni said, some people, they take a break and they come back. This is lifelong membership. The moment you buy semester one, you always have access to semester one. It's not going to go away. Okay. And then same thing. And then you go down. And what I really want to show you here is right after semester one, lesson 8, you'll see this was one of our other tutors, Elizabeth. She made this change because we felt like some students had questions on how to go forward from there. And she had this amazing idea. Why don't we put in a little box here that says, by semester 2, and give them direction what to do, right? So see, this is what I'm saying. This is not just one person. It's a whole community. Everybody comes together and they put in their ideas and make this better every day, So that was added. And then right here is what Joni was talking about. We have live webinars all the way from 2014, I believe, 2017. But yeah, there's another page in here which has 2014, 15, and 16. But it's amazing. We have all of this information. So say you join, a week after the actual start of the university, not only will you have the latest live webinar, you can go in here whenever you have time. I've heard students say, when they are on the plane, or when they're, in the car on road trip, whenever, right? They go in here and they listen to all of this, and they get more information, because each of these live webinars are different from the others. Like Joni said, she does current events. So if you see over here, semester 1, class 1, that happened June 16th of 2021. And then if you scroll back down here, the previous one happened January 27th of 2021. It's the same class, it's the same live webinar, but the information is completely different because she uses live charts, the current events. So you can always learn something more from each of these videos, which is what makes it amazing. So much information, so much content on this platform, which, it's really difficult to find this anywhere else. And that's what I'm so grateful for this university. So that's one thing. Now, coming back to the first page here, where we had all of our courses. And I also want to show you once it loads up. Yeah. So when you go down here, even semester 6, even though you're working directly with Joni, there are a couple of lessons in here, which is also very, very unique to this university, because these lessons, this is what Joni wants her students to learn. Not just learning astrology and the techniques and, all of that. In addition, she wants you to learn how to counsel your client. And that's very important, right? Because when somebody comes to you, they're coming at a time of need, when they are facing a difficult thing in life. Like I said, I went to Joni when I was in my Saturn return. So it's very important to kind of understand, how do you talk to them? How do you connect to them, right? Knowing astrology is one thing, but connecting with your client is a whole different thing. So she has a whole lesson on counseling here. Then she has another lesson here, which I have also kind of given input into, which is how to set up your business and market it. I work in software, so I help the students build their own websites. And then we have a lot of information in here on how to market your business as well. So it doesn't just stop with teaching astrology, it helps take you to the next level, right? Which is very important to understand. Now, one more thing I want to let you guys know is, once you join this university and you finish everything, you finished your 6th semester, the final reading with Joni, and you graduate, you can become a tutor as well, right? A lot of our students, we are just onboarding them as tutors right now. So what happens is, then you get to teach the other students, the new students who are coming in, and Joni pays you for it. So it's almost like you're starting to set up your own business at that point. And one more thing, and I keep saying one more thing, but there's so much to talk about. Let me show you guys one other benefit that you get. Joni, are you able to see my new screen here?
Yeah, I can see it well. One thing I want to add before I forget, Shri, is I will send everyone a new a message. I'll send an email every week informing you of what the live webinar that I'm doing each week is about, such as if it's on aspects. And sometimes I'll tell you who I'm doing it on, sometimes not, because sometimes I don't figure out who I'm going to be doing it on till a few hours before the class. But I want everyone to know what every single week I send a message out telling you what's happening at UVA, so you're not left in the dark. But let's say that message goes to junk, because sometimes our messages get lost. You can always go into the website Thinkific and go into the student information. I leave the messages there as well. So that's but go ahead. I'm sorry, Shri, I interrupted you. I didn't want to forget.
Oh, no, that was very important, actually. I knew I was missing something. So I'm back on the screen. So let me just show everybody what we're talking about. We have something here, which is a discussion forum. And when you go into the discussion forum, you can see, not only can you talk to the other students, you have a student forum in here. There's one more forum where you can actually see everything that Joni is posting. So you don't have to, miss an email, or like Joni said, it goes into spam or junk. So if you go into the student forum, and it's loading up right here, it's incredibly slow on my end.
Yeah.
But it'll show you all the messages that Joni has posted regarding, what time the webinars are, what date it is, and all of that. The date is the day is typically the same. It's usually on a Wednesday, except for our first class next Monday, because Joni looks at the muhurta for the first class. But otherwise, if you go to the community itself, you can see all the messages there. So you don't have to feel like you missed something or you were left out of something. Okay. So that's another amazing thing about this new platform that we're on. So as you can see here are all the messages that we have put in here, right? The tutorials, the webinars, everything. So you can see all of that. Now coming back to what I wanted to also show you guys is, once you graduate, you have the opportunity to set up yourself for readings on this website. So as you can see, you have all these graduates here. We are about to add 3 more new graduates who just graduated this week onto this page. And it is constantly growing. So this is what Joni was talking about, that, when she's like really booked for the next 6 months and she's not able to take on any more readings, or somebody wants an early reading, we direct them here and the students get to do those readings. Not only is it great practice, these are all graduates of the university. So we learned everything we know from Joni. So it's amazing that she's allowing us to set up our own business through this platform. So again, thank you, Joni, for doing that. Going back to, let me see, what are we missing here? Is there anything we are missing, Joni?
No, but I just want everyone to know that we are staying in touch with everyone constantly. So you're not ever left out in the dark. You don't know like what's going on every week. I will send emails. If you don't get them, you go into the student forum and see where I've left the same email. And yeah, I mean, it's just what I love about this is the community where, we get to know each other very well, all online, but it's so much better when you get to have these conferences and come together in person. That's one thing. But yeah, I just want everyone to know that this is how I'm informing them of everything that's going on. So you're not like left in the dark or in question. And even when you become inactive, you'll still be getting my emails, whether you want them or not. So, to kind of nudge you going, hey, come on back and start taking tests and start getting involved again.
Yeah, we have students from 5 years ago, the very first batch, who are still amazingly active on the platform. They're on all the live webinars. They help some of the newer students when they come on board. They have discussion groups with them and research groups with them. So this has really all this happened over the last 2 years. I have to say, the research group, the book club, and all of that, because like Joni said, she likes to run this as a community. So when she has those student meetings, she is constantly taking inputs, right? Like, what do you guys want? What do you need me to do? What more can I do? That's what I love about Joni. She's not kind of, saying, this is it, this is what I created, now everybody has to do this. She's constantly improving the university. As I showed you guys, the students have gone in there, the tutors have gone in there and said, no, I think this would make it easier. And we did that. Somebody wanted a book club, so we did that. That became incredibly successful. The WhatsApp, first we had a WhatsApp group, and now we moved everything to Telegram because that was a suggestion by one of the students. So constantly taking inputs, constantly improving and growing together as a community. That's what this university is about. And like I think Joni mentioned, when we do our conferences, you do get a discount to the conference as by virtue of being a student of this university too.
And one more thing, once you graduated, you still get to come on and watch all the live webinars.
Yes.
So many of my graduates are there all the time in all of the live webinars because, we're still learning all the time. Every time something happens, like if some famous person passes on, many times we want to look at their chart to see what their whole life was about. Maybe I'll do one on Betty White. Maybe I'll do one on, anybody that's in the news, but that's just the way it makes it more interesting and more inspiring to learn when you're looking at what's happening in the world. So if I'm doing a class on divisional charts, we'll look at the divisional charts of that person that's in the news. So, but what I want you to know is once you graduate, it's not over. People still stay. It's a community. We all know each other so well. And, and they're so welcoming every time someone new comes in. Everyone gets excited and wants to meet them. It's just a really lovely place to find like-minded people.
Oh, absolutely. I was about to say the webinars are so much fun. It's not one-sided at all.
We have no one to talk to about astrology in the real world, right? This is like our safe haven.
Absolutely. Everybody's talking, asking questions. And I kind of switched back into this fourth semester here because that reminded me, one of the things that I feel Joni's really generous about, and she just wants to teach everybody everything that she knows, and she doesn't hold back, right? So the Vedic yearly chart, or when we get to the end of the year and it's around November, December, and Joni's starting to do the predictions for next year, her students get first access to everything because she brings the entire planetary hit sheet into one of the classes and she shows it to all the students. For example, we had it in December. I think it was one of these lessons, the Vedic yearly chart or the world prediction guidelines. It was one of them. Joni showed us all the entire predictions for the year of 2022. So, she does kind of hold us very close to her heart. And she shares everything that she has very generously. And as you can see, and especially this Vedic yearly chart, this class is very interesting because before she starts the class, she will ask everybody, can everybody tell me where all you guys are from? Which all countries do you want me to look at? And usually we have somebody from Japan, somebody from Europe, Germany, within Europe, we have like London, Germany, and then we have somebody from Mexico, and they'll all say, Joni, can you look at this or can you look at that? And, that class goes on for 2 hours because Joni, she looks at every single city or country which people have suggested. She doesn't leave anything out. Even if it is 1 hour, she will continue on because she wants to make sure that everybody's questions are answered. And that, that's just an example of how giving Joni is, and I think you guys will realize that when you join the university, that there's so many benefits you get as being a student of this university. Okay. All right. So Joni, do you want me to go to the questions or is there anything else that you wanted to?
Okay. Well, one more thing that I wanted to talk about is, let's see, I had a note right here. Hold on. Oh, Shri, you help people when they graduate, you help them build the website because you know what it takes to build an astrological website, such as a booking calendar. We don't have time. Nobody answers phones anymore. So people can book their readings with you through this booking calendar that I use. Because let me just say this, we've tried them all. We know which ones work and which ones don't work. Because you got to have one that works with time zones. Shri knows all this. She helps everyone with building their booking calendar. I want everyone to prosper and grow with this. And, you know, I tell Shree this all the time. I want her to carry on my legacy with this because I won't be here forever. And I want all of my students to do this. Once, you know, this university, I'll have to hand it over to people and all my students one day. So I'm building this platform for all the students to be able to put their classes, their work, put their writings in our research journal. I want it to be about community and others because, you know, when you give, you receive, and there's nothing better than the feeling of empowering other people. That's what I'm here to do with this.
Right.
I love astrology. I love working with people. I love people. But I want to see everyone else prosper. And, you know, the more you put out there and empower people, the more you empower yourself. Remember
Absolutely.
that.
And,
Yeah.
you know, I also want people to understand that, you know, you can run a business, very successful business. In fact, you've seen how Joni lives. And, you know, you kind of saw all the other tutors who were giving readings as well. You can see all of those on the university website. So you can run a business, but above everything, you can help others. Plus, you can help yourself. You know, astrology helps you, gives you the tools, the guidelines to live your own life. And that's another empowering aspect of it. You know, you every time we go to an astrologer, yes, we do get information, we get counseling, but it's nothing better than learning it and looking at your own chart and understanding what are you here to learn? What are the karmic lessons? Where are the nodes, Rahu and Ketu? Joni talks about all this. She teaches you how to live your life using astrology as a very powerful and empowering tool. Okay. So that is absolutely true. And Joni, yes, you're right. I do build websites. I've already built websites for almost 6 or 7 students who have graduated from the university. And again, I learned from helping Joni with her website because, like she said, trial by fire, right? We have figured out which booking calendar works, which has the time zones, you know, and how to set it up the best way. So, you know, the moment you graduate, we'll help you with all of that, and you know, we'll get you up and going. Okay.
And we even teach you how to use the astrological programs. I mean, everything, we're here to assist and help.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, I think this is the full deal. This is not just one little class where you take it and it's over. It's never over. You get to be part of this forever. So.
All right. So now we'll take some questions. I know you guys have been chatting, and I love how active this group is because there's been a lot of chatting, which is great. So you guys have any questions, go ahead and put it on the chat right now, and we can take those questions and answer everything that you need to know about. I know I think it was Catherine who asked about the timing of the live webinars. I saw that earlier when I was just glancing at it. And I think, Joni, you talked about that, how you kind of give, you know, all the parts of the world, anybody has, you know, an ability to come to the live webinar.
I usually have 2 classes that are suitable for the European crowd, and then I have 2 classes that are suitable for the Australian crowd. So because, you know, they're on different time zones. So some of them will be in my AM and some of them will be in my PM. Yeah.
All right. And I think Catherine has another question. Can you join at any time? I'm not sure. Catherine, are you still there? Do you want to kind of specify what you mean by that? If you mean, can you join the university at any time? We are starting the first live webinar this coming Monday, but yes, you can join at any time because everything is recorded and you have it available. Okay. Let's see. Joni, did you want to add to that?
I just want to say it's all self-paced because
yes, it is.
You may join in January when I'm doing the live webinars for that semester, but you may fall off because life gets in the way. And, you know, then you can pick up again, you know, a few months later. Some people can catch up, but you're always able to watch the recorded live webinars along with the pre-recorded videos that have the information that you take a test from. So even though you may not be live per se, you're going to get all the information. Some people like to kind of do it at their own pace and not along with the crowd. And then there's another group of people who love to be with a group. It's almost like, you know, your graduating class. Everyone gets to know each other, right? That's how
Yes,
it works.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Aurea has a question, what additional expenses? So in addition to purchasing the semester or the entire university, in fact, let me mention one more thing. When you buy the whole package upfront, you do get $1,000 off, okay? The price will be going up a week from when we start the first class, which will be on January 17th. It'll go back to its regular price. So this is an amazing opportunity to get that discount of $1,000. So it's almost like you're getting one semester free. Okay, so that's one thing. But additional expenses would be one, you have to buy the book. It's on Amazon. I think it's $29.99, Joni, is that correct?
You know, I think it, yeah, I think, or it's 25, or I think
Yeah, it's around 25 to 30. That's what I remember.
and then,
So you have to,
and then the astrology program, you
the
don't have
program.
to get it. You don't have to get the astrology program that we all use. If you already have a program, that's fine. But we all kind of, I always use Parashva's Light in all of the classes. And every time I teach a class, I show people how to operate the program. So in other words, when I'm pulling up the transits, I show them, go to the toolbar, go to this, choose that. This is how you bring up the transit. So I'm showing everyone how to use the program that I'm using throughout all of the live webinars as well. So the additional cost would be the book, which is around $25, and the program, Parashva's Light, which, Shri, do you know how much that costs right now? I think it's a bargain, really, for what you get with that program.
I think it depends on which operating system you have, but it's in the range of $300, but we get a 20% off.
Yeah. Don't forget to call them and tell them you're part of UBA, you're my student, and you'll get 20% off on the program.
Absolutely, yes. And then, like I said, at the end, once you graduate, if you want to build your website, I help with that, and that has a cost too, but it's very minimal. I don't go like all the other software companies, but I want to do it as a help to all the students who are graduating. Yeah. But those are the additional expenses. And if you have any more questions, Aurea, let us know. Aurea has another question. What is the name of the book? I think Joni was holding it up earlier. Let me get it. Yeah.
It's Eastern Astrology for Western Minds. That's my textbook for the university. Can you see it?
Okay. Right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and it's, and when you join the university, we send you an email. We don't, like, you know, one of the main things is we don't let you just go and figure it out. There isn't a welcome email that goes out with all this information, you know, this book, the software, everything. And then your tutor is there to help you with everything on a daily basis. Okay. So that's good. So many questions now coming in.
Good.
Aspiring alchemist, I don't know what your name is, but you said, what if you want to start late, like in March?
Yeah, I mean, no problem. You can start whenever you want. You will miss out on the discount that we're offering right now. Not that I want to push you. Maybe March, there's a reason, you know, according to your time. But remember, this is a self-paced course. The only reason why we're talking about the new start date is that's when I'm starting the live webinars for semester one. So if you're starting semester one, you know, this is the time to begin to watch the live webinars that go along with the material, but you can start anytime.
Yes, so like I was showing you, we have all the webinars already recorded. So if you join in March, I'm assuming, you know, since we go every week, we have a live webinar, we'll probably be in semester two because we would have finished 8 live webinars. But you know, but you can still go back and view everything for semester one because it's all recorded. Okay, but again, you may miss out on the discount, which will go away on the 17th of January.
And you know, a lot of people are like scrambling because they just found out about this. Oh my God, it's Monday. It's, you know, January 10th is the very first start date. What if I'm not able to jump on that day? Well, so a lot of people do join like a few days late and they watch the pre-recorded live webinar, and then by the following week that we have the live webinar, you're able to be live in it. But I mean, everyone that I know really loves being part of the very first live webinar, because we introduce ourselves, we get to know each other, and I explain everything about what's going to be happening. And then I go into a talk about something that's part of the first semester, whether it be planets. No, it's going to be houses. Let me just reassure you, it's going to be houses. But my point is, this first week when it begins, we have people coming on, like crazy the whole first week. That's what I want people.
Right. Lisa has a question. Do you teach the aspects of tropical that you utilize, outer planets? And I can, absolutely tell you, Lisa, another reason, and I'm glad you asked this question, another reason why this course is very unique is that it has everything that Vedic astrology has, right? The nakshatras, the house system, the South Indian chart, North Indian chart, all of that. But Joni has previous experience. She first started in Western astrology. So what she did is she brought in what works from there into here. So this is like a very unique course, and it really does work. As Joni has written all the books on the outer planets, she uses all the outer planets and she uses the fixed stars. So when she talks about the nakshatra, she's going to tell you which fixed star is in that nakshatra and what does it mean, right? So that's some of the things that she brings in. And yes, we do use aspects, the square, the conjunction, the opposition, and the special aspects of all the planets, okay?
Yeah, but one thing I want to add, there's something that I call spatial aspects.
Yes.
And spatial aspects, they actually are some of the Western aspects. And what I mean by the difference between Vedic and Western aspects are, in Western astrology, they have what's called the Ptolemy aspects, which uses the sextile, the quincunx, and the square. But
the yard.
Yeah, but in Vedic, they have what aspects are 100% in power. And those are the ones that really give a result, such as Mars special aspects is 4 and 8. So essentially, if you're talking about Western astrology, it would be Mars's square and Mars's quincunx. But we call them special relationships, because the way planets are related, are they 212 from each other? Are they 311 from each other? Are they 410 from each other? These are how we call these spatial relationships, but they are actually, if you know Western astrology, it is partially the Ptolemy aspects that are used in Western astrology too. So in essence, to answer your question, yes, we do use the Western aspects in a different way. And definitely, I'm a big speaker about the outer planets and how to use them without destroying the perfection of the Vedic system. Because, and Shri, you know this as well, there's many Vedic astrologers that use the outer planets, and they were talked about in the ancient text as well.
Yes,
so,
absolutely.
Yes. So I hope I answered that question.
Okay. Then there was a question about, so Mary has a question, and I think before that I missed one here. Emanuela has a question. I'm a veterinarian. Wonder if you can use Vedic astrology on pets and owners.
Oh, yeah.
The sixth house.
Absolutely. Yes. Sixth house. And, I can teach you all about how to, and of course I have pets that I love. I look at their birth chart. It works as well. Of course.
Even if you don't have the time, there's a way to look at it from the moon, moon's position. So
right. Because that's rare that you have the time of your pet.
Yes. Okay, then there was another question from Mary. If you have some astrology background, do you still have to take all the modules, or can you skip some?
Oh, that's a great question. We require that you take all the modules. And I know I would have had an issue with that probably as well, coming from Western astrology from 20 years. But let me just say this. In my special rules, this is all part of the first and second semester. But in the first semester, I have a way that I guarantee you're going to learn a lot of new things. The Babat Babam, the house to house, the derivative house system, it will fill in all the gaps, the missing pieces that you're not aware that you have in your astrology practice, because this isn't just what comes from books. This is information I'm giving you from my 40 years of experience. And I'm telling you, you know, another thing is, I expect for graduates of the university, when they're helping their students, I want them to have gone through the whole course. How can you teach someone when you haven't gone through it? You can't just pick up from semester 4 or semester, you know, 5 and be able to teach the students. So you got to see the whole process, and you will understand how to teach better through going step by step in this process. So even if you know a whole lot and you think you don't need it, trust me, this is part of the process. And I do require that you've gone through this process to be a tutor and to be a graduate. And that's what I think people, I want to encourage people to do, because I want you to be able to have your own platform. And you have to be a graduate of the university to have your own teaching platform, which I encourage everyone to do, as Shri did with her Jaimini astrology. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. And yes, you know, I just want to kind of add on that too. You know, when I created the platform on Jaimini astrology, Joni gives me an opportunity to open that course once or twice a year, where I'm able to get students and teach them. And, you know, it's all about, you know, I love teaching. I love giving information to people. I love having that sense of community. And when you go in and you create your course and you're able to teach others, that is itself fulfilling, right? So let me take another question here. Do you teach the Vamshotri system for dashas? And for this, let me just share my screen. And Joni, if you want to, and I'm just going to show them the systems that we use. Yeah. So give me 1 second. We typically, predominantly, we use the Vamshotri Dasha system. I'm just going to share my application here. And as you can see over here, and if you go to this menu item over here, you see all these dashas that are listed here. The one on the top, the Vamshotri Dasha system, is the one that Joni teaches as part of this university. It's the most commonly used in Vedic astrology. And if you click on this, it'll show you all the beginning and the end dates of all the transits and everything, right? That's the main one, the one that you saw in the second semester. When you get to the 5th semester, and we have that one class on Jaimini astrology, which I typically teach, I do touch on the Charadasha, which is specific to Jaimini astrology. So in the 5th semester, you get a taste of what it is, how to use it, and how it, you know, we look at celebrity charts and all of that. And then if you want more on the Charadasha, we have a course which I myself am teaching, the Jaimini astrology course, where a whole lesson is dedicated to the Charadasha system. So yes, those are the 2 dasha systems that we have as part of this platform. But for this course that is starting on January 10th, it's mainly going to be the Vamshotri Dasha system.
Yeah, okay. And then when we get to the advanced, when we talk about the Varshafal chart, that's in semester 5. We use the Muda Dasha, that is
the Muda Dasha. Yes,
yeah, that's
absolutely.
relative to the Varshafal chart. But one thing that I teach my students over and over and over again, to simplify, to learn the basics as, you know, as thoroughly as you can, because sometimes, you know, so many people try to put so many different techniques that it dilutes it so much that you don't know what to look at. If you're looking
Absolutely.
at different dasha systems and there's 3 different sets of planets, you know, that you're looking at, how do you know which one's more important? I teach everyone to simplify, and because it focuses, just like in Vedic astrology, you have the special aspects. Mars can you know, be in all these different aspects, the trine and whatnot, But the most specific, the one that's going to give the strongest results will be its special aspects, which is 4 and 8. So in other words, I'm teaching you what's important, what to focus in on, because when you look at a chart, first of all, you look at a chart and you don't know where to start. I'm going to give you step-by-step ways that once you look at a chart and all of a sudden, you know, you lose your mind as to where to start. I'm going to tell you, this is what you do. You start with the ascendant. What rules the ascendant? Whatever house that planet goes to is going to be the focus throughout their life. Just start with that, and then everything step by step falls into place. So, you know, it's just.
And that's why I like, Joni, that for the whole university, you use the Vamshotri Dasha, because, you know, you're giving them a good foundation, a good basis, and, you know, something to build upon. And that simplifies things, like you said very correctly. And then in the 5th semester, you give them a taste of other things if they want to go off on their own and research it and find out more about it, like I did with the Germany system. You know, you still kind of give them those entryways, but those are not the main ones that you're focusing on the university. It's the Vamshotri Dasha system and the Muddha Dasha system, like you said. Absolutely, yeah, that makes sense. Then there's another question from Catherine. Could we join for 3 semesters this year and 3 next year?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. A lot of people may take it to the 3rd semester and they take a break, and you come back and start with the 4th and the 5th. You can do that. Yep. Absolutely. I just encourage people to sign up for the whole deal, just because you get to participate in every single live webinar, not just the webinars that are relative to the semester you paid for. Yeah. And you get such a discount, and we're going up on the price after a week from the start date, because there is no school that gives you access to everything for life, and a live tutor, and working with me personally, and setting you up in business. This is such a bargain. But I want to make it so that it's available to everyone. I mean, this is more valuable than, you know, really the colleges sometimes. If you're dedicated to wanting to be an astrologer, we will do everything in our power to set you up into practice and do it. Where do you get that? What? Right. You know,
and I think Catherine had another question. Is the Germany certification self-paced? It absolutely is. It is built on the same principles, the same platform that Joni uses for the Vedic Astrology course. And I will be starting it. I haven't decided when the next start date is going to be. It will be in the next couple of months. When it starts, it will follow the same template that we just talked about. It is absolutely self-paced.
Yeah, but here's one thing that may be a little confusing. Shree's Jaimini course, you do not have to take the university to take her course. So when you come on board, you graduate, and let's say you want to have a whole platform on divisional charts. Let's say that's your interest. So you will build, just like I have, 8 classes in a semester, and you'll do your own videos. We even have people that can help you edit your videos, but you'll do your own 8 videos, your own 8 tests, and you'll probably have to grade them at first. But like Shree did, she took graduates of her Jaimini class and pays them to grade the test when she repeated the course over again. So it's exactly the way I'm doing it, but you don't have to take the whole university in order to take the other graduates' classes that are going to be on the platform, because these are more specialized and detailed. But another advantage to all of this is you already have built-in clientele that are going to know about your classes from my whole university, because I'll let everyone know, you know, Shree's putting out her class again. This is the time, sign up. So, you know, you already have a community to have students sign up for your classes.
Then there's a question, is there a payment plan? And I know this question comes up a lot.
I know we tried to get a payment plan, but, and I don't think it's clear to anyone, but we went through all these different companies to do this, and they said, no, we won't take payment for you for anything over $600. So that's why we were never able to do a payment plan like we wanted to. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yes, I think you answered their question.
But to some
Then,
people, what they've done is they put, two different payments on two different credit cards. So,
yes. And one other question was, what is the price? And as you can see here, if you go to the front page of the university and navigate to sign up here, or click on enroll now for a limited time discount, either of those links should take you here, and you can see the entire price here and the discount that's being given right now. Plus, you can see if you go semester by semester, you can see the price of that as well.
right.
Okay.
So in other words, if you can't go for the full package all at once, you can pay semester by semester. So in other words, it's $997 each semester. But if you do that, you're going to end up paying $1,000 extra. But absolutely, somebody can't. I totally understand you can't come up with that much money all at once. Go semester by semester. Many people do it that way.
Okay, and let's go back here and see what other questions there were. Do you go very in depth on nakshatras and the padas?
The nakshatra, of course. I mean, that's Vedic astrology, in my opinion. What makes Vedic astrology so unique and so predictive is all about the nakshatras. Now, the padas, I don't go into great detail because they're more obscure. But the nakshatras, the ruler, the deity, the myth behind it all, the stars that are in that portion of the nakshatras is what I expound on. And that's so important. Yes, we talk about the padas, but there's other aspects of the nakshatras that I feel are so profound. So we cover the whole gambit of what the nakshatras
in one live webinar. And I that reminds me, that live webinar goes on for 2 to 3 hours because we have so much information in that webinar, and it's all recorded. Absolutely. And if you join today and you go in and you get access to all this, you can go back and look at semester 1 lesson 8 live webinar. If there are like 3 of them in there from past times it has happened. So it is all in there, yes. And there's a lot of information that Joni gives on these. Let's see. Any other questions? Tim has a question. Are the fixed stars and their aspects with the planets learned in depth during the semesters? And did Joni make a book explaining them for further reference?
The fixed stars, absolutely. They're in all my books, actually. I have a list of the fixed stars that I use, a chart. Actually, one of my students many years ago helped me make that chart of the most important fixed stars. And I only really look at like 1.5 degree orb with them because it's got to be dead on. But of course, in the textbook that you're going to be getting, Eastern Astrology for Western Minds, I go into each nakshatra and what fixed stars are in there, and those fixed stars give the nakshatras their meanings. So, what are you looking for, Sri?
I was looking for the page so I can show them the table that you were referring to.
Well, actually, the table I made is, I always refer to my Rahu Ketu book to find that table in there because that's the table of the fixed stars that one of the students years ago helped me make. Yes. I said, okay, guys, I'm really busy. Who wants to volunteer to help me make a table on the most important fixed stars in their sidereal positions?
Yes, and I just found it even in the Eastern Astrology book. It's on page 48. But yes, it's very confusing because if you go search online, as you guys very well know, you'll see a lot of places with the tropical degrees. So the sidereal one is what we use, of course, because this is Vedic astrology. So that's all there in the book. And I hope, Tim, that answered your question. Mm-hmm. Okay, what time is the first class on Monday?
It's 5:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. And you know what's interesting? You know how we always say we have our classes on Wednesdays? I always have to choose a Muhurta, the best time to start the class. That's why it's on Monday instead of Wednesdays. It will revert to Wednesdays. But I'm telling you guys, it was a real challenge to find a good day in January and February. I want to make sure it was before the Mercury retrograde, which is starting soon. And we got it. And this was the best day astrologically. That's why it's on a Monday. So
yeah, and now that we're talking about it, reminds me of one more thing. This is the year Jupiter and Neptune are going to conjunct.
yeah.
So this is an amazing time to start on a spiritual practice, a spiritual course. And I think this batch of students, the group of students that are starting now, they're going to be a very special group because of this amazing conjunction that's happening in the sky, and the people who are graduating and everything this year. Because, remember the concept of Muhurta, whatever action you take during a certain aspect or planetary alignment, that action is flavored by those alignments. So that's really important. So, just another thing we think you should know. How long? Yeah, go ahead, Joni.
No, I was just agreeing, this Jupiter Neptune group, you and I have talked about it. This is going to be a very special group, and we're going to see, just how spiritual and interesting and psychic this new group that's coming on right now is going to be.
Very intuitive.
Yeah.
How long does each semester last? So Catherine, if you take one live webinar, like it's one live webinar every week, and Joni will kind of interpose it with the earlier semester as well. So say, for example, January 10th, you'll have the first live webinar for semester 1. And then the week after that Wednesday, you're going to have the semester 5 coming in, because we kind of go alternate, right? Yeah. So, and then the week after that will be the second live webinar for January. So going by that calculation, it's almost like 2 live webinars for semester 1 every month. So around 4 months if you keep up with it for the first semester. Right. But we have seen people they just go ahead, right? They finish everything in 2 months and then they come back and watch the live webinars when it happens. So it's completely up to you. But yes, if you keep up with the live webinars, it's around that much time.
So each semester takes 8 weeks to be specific.
Yes.
Each semester, because semester 1 has 4 live webinars. And so if you're only taking semester 1, then it's going to be each week. You'll have 2 weeks to work on each video and test. And the tests aren't hard at all. Here's another thing. You will not be graded. What happens is you answer the questions, and if you get, let's say you get 3 wrong out of the 20 questions, then you're just required to go back and redo the ones you got wrong till you get it right. There's no such thing as, oh my God, you made a 93 no. We want to just make sure it is a learning platform. It's not about grades. If you get something wrong, you just go back and redo it till you get it right. That's how we do it.
Yes, we did not put in the concept of grades or numbers or anything on this platform. There is a way to do that, because they do ask you, do you want this to be graded 100% or whatever? But we said no, because like Joni said, we don't want to take away from the learning by putting in a sense of competition, or you haven't reached a certain level, or you kind of feel bad that you didn't get a good grade. We don't want any of those negative feelings to come in the way of learning. Right. So this is very pure, very, the moment you submit your test, say there are 10 questions, you may have 3 of them which are not correct. Your tutor is going to send it back to you and say, hey, can you go back and look at these 3 questions with these concepts in mind? And you have another opportunity to do it. And you can do it any number of times until you get all of them right. And there's no judgment, there's no comparison, and no competition. Okay?
It's just pure learning. That's what we're all about.
Correct. All right. So do we need to pay for the software? Yes, we talked about it. I think you might have joined a little late, but the software is in addition to the course. There's a 20% discount as part of the university. Okay. Mary asked, what's the minimum time it will take to complete the entire university if you wanted to blast through it? We have students who have completed it in a year. In fact, 10 months to 12 months, 10 months to a year.
We've actually had some people complete it in 3 months, all the
Yes.
tests.
They just like, it's, I remember one of these students, she was like, I think she was traveling to India for a vacation or something. And she said she has all this free time. So, she just like went through the whole thing in one shot. And I just want to mention at that point on the old platform, we had a check that was in there saying you cannot take the next test until the previous one is graded. And I remember this person wanted to take all the tests in one shot. And we just, one of us who were the tutors, we just were on top of it, trying to grade it as she went along. So we are here to support whatever you need to do. So if you want to go through it like in 6 months or a year, or if you want to take a break and come back, everything is absolutely up to you. But
and if you follow along with your group going with the live webinars, it takes about a year.
Yes. That's typically, we usually see a year, because I think, Joni, the final readings we had this week, they joined in the January 2021 group, if I remember right.
Yeah.
Yes.
True.
So that was that. Now let's see, another question. If you buy the full course, does the 2022 World Predictions Workshop come with it? You get a discount, but the workshop doesn't come with it. Okay. Numerology, do you take that into account? I'm in a 6th personal year along. I don't know what that means. I'm not sure about numerology.
Well, I mean, if you're into numerology, definitely a lot, not all, but a lot of the meanings for the numbers relate to the houses, such as, the 3rd house is creativity and the number 3 is creativity. I mean, I've studied books on numerology myself, but it's a whole different system, but it's a universal system. So numbers mean something. So if you want to put it in the context of what the houses are, their meanings are similar, just like tarot cards that is intertwined with astrology. You see the symbols for the astrological signs on the cards. Numerology, numbers have meanings like the houses. So it's similar but different, if that makes sense.
Yes. Another question is, do you touch on the 3-dimensional Tara Bala, Chandra Bala, and Panchanga prediction systems during the semesters?
Yes, we definitely look at the Pachanga. It's in the last semester, the 5th semester.
The 5th semester. One of the lessons in the 5th semester, let me see if I can scroll down here. And this is all on the university website right here. Electional charts. We have Muhurta. And then we have times to do surgery, marriage, all of that in the horary charts, a Prashna chart. And as part of this, I think, Joni, you teach the Tara Bala and the Chandra Bala and all that, right?
Yes, the Tara Bala.
Okay. So that's answered. And I think that's it. I don't see any other questions. Anybody has any last minute questions? That was a really amazing group, a very active group that we had here.
No, there's so much, there's so much about the university. It's really hard to kind of say it in a few bullet points. So that's why we wanted to have this class and explain it. And it's been, like Shri says, it's been evolving throughout these years. We keep adding new features and new things to the university, because I always like to have meetings and talk to everybody, and they have such great ideas. Such creative minds are all part of this university. It's amazing. So, and it's so, world university, it's global. We have people in every continent that's part of it. And so, and that's another thing, when we assign tutors, we try to assign a tutor that's from the same area, such as today, Christine graduated, and yesterday Sarah graduated, and Sarah's in Belgium and Christine's in Germany. So we try to pair them together with, and Zeno's are from Turkey. We try to, if we have people that are from Turkey, we will try to pair people together that speak the same native language, even though everything's in English here. When they get to talk to each other and explain concepts, they can talk in their own native language. So we try to pair people from their same
thing with the students from the Philippines and Malaysia and that area. We have, in the beginning when we started, we had like one from each place. So we weren't able to really group them together or give them that assistance. So we had tutors here in US time trying to work during other time zones to help and assist their students. Now that we've grown to this level, we have groups in every time zone. So like even Mandip from London, I think she's in UK. So, and we have South America. We have, I think there are a couple of students from the Virgin Islands, Australia, in fact, Japan. We just have 2 students from Japan who are about to graduate. So, we have people from the same time zone. So when you sign up, if there's a specific request that you have, hey, I'm from Germany, can you see if I can get a tutor from there? Just let us know. Put that on an email or on the notes or something, and we can give you somebody from that time zone so that you don't have to wait the whole night or the whole day to get your response. Okay.
Right. And Fee, he's one of our first graduates in Asia. It's like,
yes, it's one of our first ones.
Yeah, and one of our finest. So
yes, absolutely. I mean, this is a great group of people. I mean, just like-minded. It's hard to find people to talk about astrology with outside, So that's what this really does accomplish. So we have a lot of people here saying that they're saying thank you, Joni. And of course, I just want to let you know, since you're not reading this, they're saying you're a great inspiration. So everybody's saying really nice things here. So just want to let you know that. But there are no other questions as far as I can see.
Okay.
Do you want to, is there any last minute questions? Anybody? Okay.
Okay.
All right. So I think we are good.
Good. And we sent out a newsletter with all the explaining everything too. If you're on our newsletter list, you'll be able to read step by step. But one more thing, go to About on the university website. If you go to About, we have pretty much basically everything outlined that no, not
right here.
Right there, About. We have all the bullets. If you missed anything or you came in halfway through this question and answer, here is basically everything outlined that you get with the university. We might have touched on most of this, or maybe we left out a little bit of it, but yeah, ask us questions. If there's anything that you missed from all of this, you can definitely ask us questions. So we just want this to be accessible to everyone, and realize this is a serious university where we will do everything in our power to make sure that you learn astrology. We will empower you to be an astrologer. We need more people out there using astrology. It is the most healing, helpful tool there is out there to really give people guidance with their lives. Because don't forget, even when somebody's going through a very, very difficult time, they need someone to talk to. And most of all, I think the most empowering thing that you can do with astrology is to tell people when it's going to be over. Oh my God.
Absolutely. Yes.
The worst time of your life. And you give them, okay, this date, there's light at the end of this tunnel. This is when it'll be over.
Yes. And the karmic lesson, Joni, I know you talk about that a lot on the lessons and everything. When you tell somebody, a lot of times what happens is when we go through tough problems in life, when you know the why, you know the how. Right? Because before that, you feel really lost. You're like, why is this happening to me? Why am I going through this? What did I do wrong? So the moment you have to kind of ask those questions, but then when you come to astrology, you understand the why. You understand the karmic reason why we are here and we are going through these lessons. And the moment you understand the why, it's like that light bulb that goes off, it's like, now you know the how. How can you heal from this? You can learn from this. So you don't have to come back again to a different lifetime and learn this all over again. So that's really empowering. I mean, I can't stress on that enough. Not only are you teaching, not only are you helping and healing other customers and clients, you're doing this for yourself. So it's incredibly powerful. Yeah.
It is. So this is empowering other people, healing lives. I mean, there's nothing more powerful than that. One of the things, and I know you know this, Shri, when somebody comes back and says, you healed my life.
I believe I said that to you in the year 2011.
Yeah, you changed my life.
That's personal experience,
mean, it's just so, you know, you just feel so, I don't know. It's just
Yes.
the greatest feeling ever to be able to empower and heal other people.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
So I hope you guys take advantage of this. And Joni and I are here to answer any questions you may have. And sorry, there's one more question, Joni, that just popped up. Do you cover the lesser known divisional charts?
Oh, absolutely. Divisional charts. That's such an important aspect of Vedic astrology that makes it so much more specific than, you know, Western tropical, because you have a divisional chart for each specific thing, such as career, children. Absolutely. We have an entire class on divisional charts, and we use them throughout the whole
Yes.
course too. Yes.
And I think I missed something here because somebody's directing me to a good question, which I missed. So let me just scroll up so I don't miss that. So Crystal had a question, how would I differentiate between a deep interest in Vedic astrology and an actual calling?
Well, you know, some people do not do this course to be astrologers. They do it for their own self benefit, to learn Vedic astrology so they can, you know, help themselves through their own chart and things like that. But you know what I always tell people when they ask such a question? Listen to your gut. That's what you got to do. Whatever, you know, one time I had this very deep question. There was many years ago, I was into homeopathic medicine as well, and I really wanted to be a homeopathic doctor, and I was going to take this extensive course in England. And I sat there and contemplated, and I said, well, should I go astrology or should I go into healing with homeopathy? And a voice clearly said in my head, look at your bookcase. What do you have the most books on? And of course it was astrology. They said, do the astrology course. So what did I do? I didn't drop the homeopathy, but you know, I certainly didn't take the courses in homeopathy, but I put all my energy into astrology, and boy, that voice was correct. So
Yes.
listen to your inner voice. That's what I'll say.
Yes, and same thing from my experience too. I had nothing to do with astrology when I first went to Joni for a reading. I was a software engineer. I was working for a Fortune 500 company, and I was far removed from anything that was metaphysical or astrology related. But you know, when you know, you know. And that's what I walked away from that reading that day with, that, just like Joni said, that gut feeling. You know, your soul speaks to you. You feel like this is a path that you need to take. And of course, I started in the beginning to as a tool to help myself. But you know, as you go along, it becoming a calling. You don't really know it's a calling when you start learning it. But
Mhm.
as you go along, it develops into one. So I hope that answered your question, Crystal.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that's good. We don't have any other okay, one more, sorry. Yeah, we just keep getting questions. I'm a Japanese living in the US. I would like to introduce Joni's YouTube videos with Japanese language. Is it possible if I complete all your courses?
I don't understand. Are they talking about translating them?
I don't know. I didn't really understand the YouTube video part. Emmy, do you want to specify a little further what you're asking? We can wait a few seconds and see if you have any additional things you want to add to that, because we are not able to understand that question. Or another thing you could also do is, if you're not able to get to it now, go to the contact over here on the website, go to the contact and you can send us an email, okay? We both, me and Joni, we both see these emails. So, you know, we are here to answer your question if we don't get to it in this particular live session.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's not, I think she might have left. I don't see another question coming back.
Then again, some people might be viewing this, you know, at a later time. They're not live with us, and so those of you that are just viewing this and you actually watch this all the way to the end, I'm amazed. But you can ask us questions this way.
And Emmy did come back. She said translating.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought she meant. I mean, that's quite a feat. I actually had somebody that wanted to do that in Turkish too. So yeah, we can talk about that.
Yeah, send an email to us through the contact form, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, any other questions on the university or the course that's just starting? It's exciting times, Joni. I love doing this YouTube every time.
I know, me too. I love, my favorite thing of all is teaching And it's a blast when we have all these live webinars, and you get to see people from all over the world. And
Yes.
the most exciting thing about teaching is when you see that light bulb go off in their minds by looking at their eyes. It's just a remarkable experience. So with that, thank you everyone that came and joined us. And I hope you've learned some new things about how the university works. And most of all, I hope we'll see you online soon and get to know you. So thank you, Shri, for helping me with this today.
Thank you, Joni. Yes.
Okay.